DJ House Thing, sound kind of special.
Collaborate and listen. Sholele, 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 atrapo, usumi. Sholele, 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 atrapo, usumi.
On the mountain, shalala, shalala, kidibo, shalala, shalala, kidibo, shalala, shalala, kidibo, shalala, shalala, kidibo. Ọbẹ̀ yàrá nù mí lọ́nu, ọjọ́ ni mo ta ń kúrò mí nínú bẹ́ẹ̀ wù. Ìwọ̀n kò mọ̀ ọ́nà bẹ́ẹ̀ mi àní àná ìwà. Ìsọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ trapọ̀, láàmì ẹ̀ sàkàsàkà ṣọ́dà. Ìjọ lè súnmọ́ mi ní súnmọ́ rẹ̀. Ọba mi kàn ṣe kí pàtàkì ọ̀ní Patricia. Wọ́n ti èkútó wáyé ní ẹ̀sán. Àṣìṣe mi nọ́mbà wọ́n ìnàṣán. Sọ́ọ̀ṣì, lọ́jọ́, sọ́ọ̀ṣì, lọ́jọ́. Jọ̀wọ́, jọ̀wọ́, jọ̀wọ́.
Ọ̀dọ̀ yẹwé.
Again, folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank you very much. Those of you that are still with us, we say thank you, thank you. And if you can't be with us, that's fine. We say thank you still. It's a Christmas day, so we're going to do. We're having some serious issue here with our podcast, but that's okay. We're moving on. We're moving on. We say thank you for staying with us. It was a wonderful day. So let's before we got cut off here. I was in the process of telling you why I believe that Armo Eugene Falcon was being intellectually dishonest, and I still stand by that. Anyhow, let me show you. I've already shown you. I want you to also go and do your own research and see how far you're going to go with that and see if I even make sense whatsoever. This is just not something that you want to deal with. Okay? So my thing is, Armo Eugene Falcon, continue to with whatever he is that he's doing, is getting how to cut it. He's making the co-star and the rest of the people to eat the lunch of the Liberian government because he's not being truthful and he's not telling us everything that he knows. Okay, because I'm sure he most likely aware of this situation, the court issue that I just brought up. So please, I'm not sharing this video. If you care to share for me, I will appreciate it if you can. If not, no big deal. If anybody watches, no big deal. Nobody wants to watch it, that's okay. I had a technical issue that I have to deal with right away, but I'm back. But anyhow, let me go on. Let me go because I have one other subject matter that I want to talk about before I got interrupted here. So if you care to share the video for me, I will appreciate it, please, if you can. All right? So if not, no big deal, no big deal. If you don't have the time to do that, that's fine as well because it's Christmas Day. A lot of people are busy and people are not there just sitting down. So if you can share the video, that's okay. If you can, I will appreciate it. I will appreciate it if you can. All right, so let's go back. As I was saying here earlier before I got interrupted, Eugene Falcon make that statement, and I played that for you. I'm sure you guys read it and you saw it. So again, okay, this is not. Oh, that's fine. We're not going to use that. Okay. Got plenty of kids, they use your stuff, that's what happens. You're not in control of. Once you're born children, you're not in control of your own life again, that's for sure. But anyway, let me do this here. Let me do this. I ask you to please share my video for me, please, if you can. My tablet is gone because my other son is on it almost every night. So I'm off that one. So let me see if I can connect to this. Okay. We're back on this other one. So let's see if because I like to hear myself. I like to hear myself when I'm on these kinds of show. Okay? All right. So if you can share it, I can hear myself now. I can hear myself. That's all I want. Okay. Thank you guys. If you can share it, I appreciate it. Okay, so right before, but I'm not too comfortable with this chair, folks. I mean, this is Christmas Day. Why what do you think I'll be here not being comfortable? We're doing our best. Yeah, we go. Now, Mr. Tool, you're comfortable. Yeah, all right. Okay, folks. Samson Tool, LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you that have continued to stick with us here this evening. If you can share this video, I will appreciate it. So I show you how dishonest intellectually, dishonest. I said I'm not talking about his character, intellectual dishonesty. That's all that I'm on. I'm not questioning his character. I'm not questioning anything else because that's not what I do. That's not what I do. I do not question people's character, but I question his dishonesty when it comes to intellectual discussion. Because these things, not only are they intellectually important to all of us, but those of us that follow Liberian politics, if you are Minister of Information, Deputy Minister of Information, if you're going to be putting out information out there for public consumption, you have to do some due diligence. You have to bring in all of the issues. He came out and said Custer most likely broke the lock and went in. And here it is. The quote issues that I just read to you. I didn't see anything in there. You're telling me that the justice minister going to sit there and everybody else allow Custer to go in the place. He's been broadcasting from that area now twice in a row. And you want to tell me everybody in the government of Republic of Liberia in cahoots with Custer? I find that hard to believe. And another thing I want people to understand is this. And that's why Custer continue to eat their lunch. I keep saying that. Because if I was involved, yeah, Custer most likely, because he's intelligent, he's very smart, he will eat my lunch, but not as many times as this. Because they keep making blunder. For some reason, they are so anxious. They're so anxious to get this one person that they're stepping behind themselves. They're not being careful in how to deal with him. They're making mistakes upon mistakes. And what Custer realized in making mistakes, he capitalized on it. And once he capitalized on your mistake, he goes on and broadcasts it. You know, now Custer's now becomes the voice of the people. People talk through him now. Because the government is not giving the type of information they're supposed to give. And I'll go Friday, I'll go deeper with the interview with Dr. Weir, where Dr. Weir gives some information that can be fact-checked immediately. Why would you do that in this day of age? Why would you give information that people can fact-check it right away and say, hey, my man, why you say, oh? Why you can't even fact-check yourself before you make this statement? Okay? But because they're so anxious, in case of Eugene Falcon, it seemed to me, and I said it seemed to me, that he's so anxious to make Custer the Buku man that he doesn't care what comes after. He's an intelligent person, educated person. And one of the hallmarks of being educated is to make sure when you're doing things, you do them in succession, they're enrolled. Because that's what your training gives you. For example, if you're writing a term paper, and I'm sure all of us that are going to school, you've done that. If you're writing a term paper, you can't say you come from Totan yesterday, but you're going to Totan tomorrow, or yesterday you back to Totan. You don't do those things. You write this so that people that will read it will follow you. They will follow your train of thought, that they're in line. And if you listen to Eugene Falcon, most of the times, not that he's incapable of putting good thought together for people to follow. I'm not saying that. But in the rush of trying to find enemy of the state, in his rush of trying to say, Dr. Weir, I got your back, he tends to forget the intellectual forum that he's on. Hundreds of people are watching you. And every one of them are not just the same. People will scrutinize what comes out of your mouth. People will research what your statement you're making. And if they start finding that you're not only being dishonest, but you don't care for the truth, then your ability to function, your ability to explain, your ability to connect with the intellectual folks that are within the forum, it becomes difficult. And then, oh, that Eugene Falcon again, man, I'm not listening to that man. Why would you want people to say that? Oh, yeah, I'm not listening to that man. Because people finding it difficult to follow you and that you're being dishonest intellectually. Okay? So what would stop Eugene Facon from my people Anthony part at Christmas, but other Christmas with me, and not easy. All my team they're falling apart. But you're there, okay? How long would it take you? You know this is a subject matter you're going to be talking about today. Take your time. Do say, okay, how far are we now? Has the case been to court? What was the result? I'm going to be talking about this. Let me lay everything out and give us, the Liberian, give us the opportunity to make a decision, a sound judgment. But you have other young people following you. They love you. But when you give them these kinds of information, there are other people that don't like you. They go to meet in the classroom. They go to school or go to their gathering. And they say, you fucking last man. You ain't play with them. They may say, oh, but wait. Look what he gave. Wait a minute. The man, nobody go to court. You can't bring it. There's a court issue. The young man that believed in you 2 hours ago and following you, say, but what? Next time when you say something, when he comes to the same group, he don't want to be the first to bring it up because he doesn't know what you're leaving behind. And he doesn't want to have eggs thrown in his face anymore. The trust of these young people that you guys are handling over there in Liberia is very important. These young people are coming from war. They're coming from war. The ability to trust is very difficult. You have to prove yourself over and over and over just so that they can trust you. But when you use these kinds of medium and you miss this type of opportunity and you want people to follow you and be trustworthy, then it's just difficult. And that's why when Costa comes on air, what does he do? He comes on and play with his mic, and sometimes he's very boastful. He said, I'm not going to open my mouth until I get 1,000 people. And then you see people rushing on his show. You know? Yes, sometimes Costa embellishes issues and this stuff, but lots of time, when you say, I get this, you know you have it. Okay? So he's becoming more trustful, more trustworthy to the Liberian people than most of you that are representing the government of the Republic of Liberia. Okay? So that's become very difficult. So now, Eugene Facon, from this statement that I just played here, those of you that followed earlier, he made a statement that seemed to suggest that Henry Costa believes he's above the law. And I said, that's far from it. Henry Costa doesn't even trust the government anyhow, let alone trying to give them reason, trying to give the Republic of Liberia reason to have him arrested. Why would you say he broke a lot? Can you show that? And why is it that the government, did you mean the government scared of Costa? Far from it. But anyway, that's Eugene Facon. And I just want to show you why we're having these kinds of difficulties. And those of us that are consider ourselves the big boys or the big voice in the room that like to calm things down, I will once again acknowledge my younger brother to please. I mean, he's explained well. He does his job well. I'm not saying he doesn't know how, but please take time because there are people, young people following you. You can't make these kinds of statements and leave out things. Even if some of the information is not in your favor, throw it anyway. Then they let the people decide. You give them the information, say, this is what I have. But I believe this is not right, but this is what it is. And these young people themselves, give them the opportunity to make the decision. Because these are the future leaders of tomorrow. If you don't teach them now to be trustworthy, if you don't teach them now to be truthful, if you don't teach them now how to deal with one another, and you expect when your time over, when you leave the stage, the young people that are going to be coming, how then do you expect to move this ball forward? That's the question. You being a deputy minister and speaking for the government or trying to defend the president, that's not all to it. Because most of you, including Dr. Weir, your time will be over and you will leave the stage. And then other people, young people that have followed you, that try to emulate you, will want to be in that position. Do you want them to do what you did? No, I don't think so. So in your zeal to try to defend the president, to get the president back, you're missing out on a lot of things. And you're putting our country at peril, sir, if you don't think so. I truly believe that. So let me go on. Let me go on, folks. Samson, too. Please share the video. Share the video if you can. Let me go on. So another important issue that I want to bring up here this evening is this. Okay, few weeks ago, 2 weeks or so ago, on Costa's show, they wrote the Justice Minister, the COP. They wrote the Justice Minister, and asking for requesting for security, and the Justice Minister replied. His reply was he wasn't going to give security for somebody who's trying to foment violence in the country. And Costa then decided, okay, I'm going to go to my show and make this man to understand this is not what he think it is. And let me just play you Costa show by 2 weeks ago, and then I will show you now how things are happening in Liberia. These things are becoming very interesting. The only thing, and they are very educational as well for the young people. The only thing that I ask the player, the stakeholders in this, is that there be no violence. You can have an argument. You can have an engagement like Custer is doing now. He's engaging fully. But the reason why I'm going to be playing the first video is so that because people have been saying that, oh, Costa changing your tune now. And I'm not here to defend you. I'm going to be truthful. I can't sit on this and say, yeah, Costa changing the tune. Then I'm being dishonest myself because I have this information. That Costa is not changing his tone. That Costa's been saying this thing for months, except some of us were not paying attention. And so since you were not paying attention, now you got to this other station like this. You start from this side, you don't pay attention then on this side, and you say, oh, this is what man saying. Everything else that in between, you didn't hear, you didn't see it. And so it is my job, if I'm on that, if I get that information, to provide it to you. So you can see that Costa has not changed his position. I don't agree with the president's step-down issue, and I've been saying it for months. However, they have the constitutional right to protest. But let's hear Costa's explanation, and then I'll come back again with. I have 3 more videos. They're all 1 minute each, less than a minute. Okay, but I want to show the intersection so you will see how these things are being played and how these young people are now engaging themselves. And that's what going back to Kochi again, Jefferson Kochi. If you're not prepared, you can't handle Costa. None of you can handle Costa without violence. Without violence. If you're just going to stand in the intellectual forum, if we were to say, let's have a gathering and let's speak intellectually, none of you can stand Costa. None of you. And I don't even know Costa. Costa don't even know me. And I'm not here to defend or support. I'm just being truthful because I follow his show and I follow his activities. He's very smart, intelligent. He thinks way ahead of things. Okay? So let's you see, this is what I'm talking about. If you don't pay attention to these and you want to be someone to attack Costa, it will take you to the clinic very easily. Very easily. Now for you will say, oh, I don't care. But what I say is true. Yeah, you can say all that. But those of us that are watching and consider ourselves to be a political junkie, okay? Consider ourselves to be a political junkie. If you don't listen to Costa keenly, okay, and you say, oh, you say they want him, long before he have already backed himself up. And this is exactly what he has done with the COP. I've been telling people they don't want to listen. They don't want to listen because from total, so from total, you're nothing. Costa, on a very serious note, Costa and the COP, they have put themselves at a specific position that the international community respect them. because they put out thousands of people in Monrovia. Nobody got hurt when things were tense. The government also get credit. Don't get me wrong. But it was the organizer. These kinds of things, if thing goes right, the organizer get more praises than the government. If thing goes wrong, government get more blame than the organizer. That's just politics. Okay? And that's why we're saying the government has to be careful. You have to be careful how you deal with people. Okay? Let me play this video. Way back, maybe 2 weeks or so ago, when Costa wrote and the Justice Department replied. Let's listen to Costa's explanation. And this same explanation, they use, man, Costa is too smart, folks. I love it, you know. I have another young man in my community. I call him Graduate Dictionary. He's very smart, very intelligent, you know. And he's like that. And before I go to Costa, let me tell you one thing else. I'm an engineer, as I've been saying before. But in this engineering program, you have the course, some courses that I don't mean one credit hour, but you got to do them. So I decided in order to do my 1 credit hour, which is elective or whatever, you go and take one class. So I took swimming, shooting, and this other class is called logic, not logic in math. That was my mistake because I have had logic in math. I've done calculus and all those kinds of good math. So when I saw a logic, I said, I can do it. So in the logic, it's a psych class. It's an introduction to logic, psych class. But man, that class will take you back to Totem, bring you to Monrovia, take you back to, and scrap you. That class was not easy. But when I saw it, I opened the page. They got it. They don't have math, but math equation, something like that. So I said, I can do this thing, man, no big deal. So I took that class. When I took that introduction to logic, when I took that class, these young people that were coming to the class, you look at them, their sneakers, the toes of the sneakers open, you can see their toe ends out. They have the chin. I said, what kind of grown-up school class I can't take? Everybody else think they look dirty. But when these people open their mouths, intellectually, I felt inferior. I mean, among these young people, I felt like, what am I doing here? Because when they open their mouth to argue colors and argue point, how the subset of a man, the education is good. If you know book, you know. There are certain way of engaging people, and the English language, when you put them together, they have a subset. Well, in math, you have a line, a circle, and what you can do a subsets in math. But the subsets in logic, oh my goodness. All dogs are cow, all dogs, all kinds of things. But they have meanings. So I went to that class. The first 2 weeks, I said to the professor, look, go on my witness. If I ready to do my thing, I don't care. I went to the professor. I said, look, I'm from Africa. I'm from Toton, Grand Gila County, Liberia. I'm doing engineering here. I ain't got no engineer member in my family. And this is my last year. I'm not going to fail because I'm not coming back here. If I don't pass the test, they will not give me my degree. And I'm not coming back here. He said, oh, okay. I tell you, yes. I said, no, I'm an engineer student. So he said, okay, I can help you. He knew very well that I was in trouble. He knew that I was in trouble. The test, it's not like I couldn't read, but the ideas, to form these ideas to be able to hold together until your whole sentence or until your whole paragraph is done, that they are in line. I'm an engineer. Do I care for paragraph in line? I want to know what the structure holding, how much weight going to be. That's all I want. What do I need? And the man knew I was in trouble. So he said, okay, you help me. And he helped me. I was able to get a C out of that. I was out of there. But I'm just telling you, these are 10 classes that when you take, you're quite prepared. Most of you that are representing CDC and what have you, you face the Costa, you will eat your lunch. You can't make it with him. So listen to what he's saying. And then when you listen, sometimes you will be able to get some point. Let me show you another example. Let me show you an example. Because on Facebook, most of the people been saying, because they got no reason, they changing their mind now, he changing it too. The government only is scared. Listen to this. And then you know Costa it's not like I know he's scared. Human being, every one of us scared of something. But let me just play this for you. This is 2 weeks ago or so. Listen to this.
But you see, folks, I'm going to say this to you, right? First of all, the letter that we wrote Musa Dean, there is nowhere in that letter did we say we're requesting for a permit. So Musa Dean was responding to a different letter that did not come from the COP. Also in that letter, there is nowhere in which we stated that we are requesting Musa Dean's permit and that we are doing a step-down campaign. We did not say in the letter that we are asking Mr. Weir to step down. Now, individual members of the COP, myself and many others have said we want the president to step down. But in our official communication to the Ministry of Justice, which we have published, there is nowhere in that letter that we say George Weah should step down. But we are saying George Weah should step down. Individually, some members of the COP are saying it, others aren't saying it. Ordinary Liberians are saying it. Most of the people are saying it, that they want the president to resign. And there is nowhere on our laws that we don't have the right to say to President Weah, step down. First of all, let me read our letter to you. The letter we wrote to Musa Dean. The Council of Patriots, November 11, 2019. Councilor Frank Musa Dean, Minister of Justice, Pine Avenue, Monrovia, Republic of Liberia. Notice of plan to hold a peaceful assembly beginning Monday, December 30th, 2019 in Monrovia. Dear Minister of Justice, dear Mr. Minister of Justice, we present our compliments and trust that this letter meets you well. On April 24, 2019, we wrote informing you about our intent to hold a series of peaceful assemblies beginning June 7, 2019. In furtherance to that, we write to inform you that another peaceful assembly is being organized and scheduled to begin on Monday, December 30th, 2019, and would potentially last for several days in Monrovia. During this peaceful assembly, we intend to gather as many as 100,000 persons and will be gathering at the seat of government, Capitol Hill. Those participating in the assembly will begin gathering at 6 a.m. GMT, and they will come from various parts of the country. We look forward to your usual cooperation in providing security for this peaceful assembly. Thank you for your support as we anticipate hearing from you. Regards, Muhammad Ali, Acting Chairman. But you see, folks, I'm going to say this to you, right?
That's the letter that Costa, they sent to the Justice Ministry, and the Justice Minister sent them a letter, and apparently he must not have gone through that. You see what I'm talking about? In their zeal to make Costa the Buku man. Sometimes they don't even read some of the things that, it comes from Costa. I see they want government. What he said, and I've been saying that also. The individual members of COP, they can claim whatever they want to claim. When they send the letter, in the official letter they send, they tell we want security because we want to protest. Now, Musa Dean is a very intelligent person. I'm enjoying this thing, man. I hope all I say is that these people should not bring violence into this thing. And let them just stay there, because some of us truly enjoying this thing. As a political junkie, I just don't want violence. Musa Dean, also intelligent, smart. However, he didn't read much. He didn't read what I'm not going to say comprehension. I'm not going to say that because I wasn't there. But from all indication, his letter, making reference to Constitution and what have you, it seemed like before he got the letter, the fact that Costa been on his show with doing the protest and Georgia would step down. And so when they saw the letter, your mind can do that to you as well. So immediately their mind put it in that letter. It was not there. They didn't see it. So they replied, you have no constitutional mandate to bring in a government. That's not what the jury said. Hey, I tell you, Costa killing you people. Because Costa, you need to join the people, man. Just stop the kind of thing. Let LIBERIA move forward. The international community are watching. And it's affecting the daily activities of our brothers and sisters. And there's a clear understanding, I think, and as a big person and a big voice in the room here, somebody who want to calm things down, I think we all agree that perhaps these people, maybe they're a little bit above their head. However, nobody, the Ghanaians cannot come and help. Nigeria cannot come and move that country forward. We going to do it. But then the problem is, if the people need help, they're going to have to ask for help. But they can't say that they need help. You know they need help, but they're not asking. So it's difficult. But however, I just want to say to Costa, I'm playing these things here because I know. Okay, these things are very important, and your engagement is becoming a teachable moment for young Liberian politicians as well. Even though I'm not too sure how much cloud you have with respect to Liberian politics or what have you, but it seemed to me for months now, these people, I have not seen anything that I can come and say, yeah, Costa did this, and these people are right. I haven't seen it yet. By the way, let's go on. Let me don't do the advising yet. I will do the advising at the end. Oh my goodness, my God. This is just too even the 70s. The progressive, when they were dealing with Tava, it was difficult to get through because Tava knew exactly how to respond to these people. But it seemed like this government, I'm not too sure how they want to engage. I'm not too sure. But anyway, so Costa now finished explaining. The Justice Minister replied to a letter and put words that were not in the letter, and then making reference to the Constitution. That the Constitution did not give the any right to bring elected government down. I'm just paraphrasing now. To bring elected government to come down. Now, Costa pointed out here again. He said, no, Mr. Minister, you read. Folks, it's Christmas Day. We're having fun. Well, let's continue to have fun. I know there are many brothers and sisters that don't even have food to eat today back home. So for me, laughing here is a very serious matter. But folks, what we're going to do, only us Liberians, whether you like it or you don't like it, whether you like Dr. Weah or you don't like Dr. Weah, he's the president. Let's continue to insist that we Liberians are here to help. There are many Liberians that can help the economic situation back home. There are many Liberians here that can help. However, most of the question is, how do we get through? There are certain people that put Dr. Weah in the bubbles, and you can't talk to them. They don't want you unless you pay them a certain amount of money. And I'm saying this because I know so. I've heard it and I've seen it. So I'm saying it. Okay? I something to say so. I'm scared. But anyhow, the point here is this. These people must be contacted so they can help and move the ball forward. If the conflict happen between the protester and the government, anything happen bad, they go against government. Anything happen good, protester get credit. That's just politics. But anyway, let's go on. So I'm getting ready now. Costa recently, when he got to LIBERIA, they had a press conference. But before that, there was people from the international community and some stakeholders of Liberia had a meeting with the government and the protesters quite recently. And let's hear the conversation that happened between them and Costa, as Costa is about to explain to us. Okay? Now, here's other thing here that I want the government to understand. Eugene Falcon issue part that there's something on the side. The only thing I want my brother to do is to be honest with us. That's all that I want. He has the right, and he's a citizen of Liberia. He can say whatever he wants to say. But when you're speaking, even if you're not speaking on behalf of the government, the fact that you work for the government and our money paid for it, we got pay. Do I pay tax in Liberia? Yeah, I send money to my son. So when he buys something, they report tax on it. So I think I'm paying too. Yeah, I'm a Liberia, I pay tax. Well. Every one of us want to grab something about Liberia. We just want to be part of it, my brother. Don't push her out. But in fact, according to the Supreme Court, you can't push me out anymore. I'm Samson Toe from Toe Town. What are you going to do to me now? Yeah, big, yeah. But anyway, let me get back on a serious note, folks. So Costa had a meeting, and the government and Costa people had a meeting. So what I wanted to say here about the government is this. The fact that when Costa got there, the brouhaha, whatever it was a blunder on the part of the government for refusing Costa to go to Central Monrovia. They were not violent. Then you stop them. People there, international community people present in Liberia, they see it. They keep in note. So when they went to a meeting according to Costa, they asked Costa that him and his people must make sure that they repeat what happened June 7th. Costa and his people, I keep saying this, they have already established a record of being peaceful. Now, here's another thing that the government get going against them. For some reason, they thought they were helping themselves. And that's why I'm saying here, if I was involved, all of these things, I will make sure and talk to those security apparatus, things you need to know. Because when you come out and block people from going to the central, from Central Monrovia, and then out of a sudden they can identify Sabu unit or Yubu unit, whatever they call them, to start violence, it goes against the government. Because the people saw these people, the Costa group, marching all the way from Ralphie. They ain't tell people potato. Grumpy said, Grumpy. They ain't tell people grumpy to eat. They ain't tell people water without ice cream. They're walking. And then when they get to Central Monterey, out of a sudden it will just become violent. And that's why you expect sensible people to believe. When you do that, you put yourself in a hole more. Okay? So let's go on. So Costa had a meeting with these people according to him. Let's listen to that. Samson told her, bro, I just love this here. But I'm praying that these brothers, whatever they do, they should try to maintain stability and peace. Our brothers and sisters must not be running up and down the street looking for their children and their kids, and mothers crying and things like that. That's not good. So, but let's listen to Costa as he explained what happened in the meeting. Samson told LeBron Paparino. Let's listen to Costa.
Our keys that we want to exercise our right to protest. Of course, the government naturally would not want us to protest. And the international community acknowledged our rights of free speech and to protest. They made that very clear. And they were very supportive of the fact that we choose to exercise our rights. And their only word of caution was to appeal to us to repeat what we did on June 7th, which means how peaceful it was. And we assured them as long as there's no provocation, December 30th protest should pass off in a peaceable fashion. So I want to let our people know through your medium, through your respective platforms, that December 30th is on. Also, the Minister of Justice made a commitment in that meeting that because our official communication written to him requesting security protection does not call for step down, he will be compelled to grant us the security protection that was requested for. So that was a little compromise we made there, that he will give us security protection because our official communication does not say step down. It says we want to assemble. So the Minister of Justice made that commitment to in front of our international partners and the Interreligious Council headed by Bishop Cottle Brown. So at this point, I would like to stop here and entertain 5 questions, and then we'll bring this to an end. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You see why I'm laughing? This is the same minister that told them weeks ago that he's not going to give them nothing because they want to bring down the government and the constitution. You see what I'm talking about? No, you do this. You do this to people like Costa. Costa is not your something toll. Every one of us, we got the emotion wrote on our sleeves. No. I keep saying that the young Liberians are sophisticated nowadays. They're not your progressives of the 70s. These people are well educated, trained, and they read a lot. So they know their rights. So here's the worst thing of all, that I feel bad for this government. They had a meeting. They already have a letter from the justice minister denying their request. So when the law group people in Liberia, they're not stupid. They got some lawyer that say, "Mama," and their friend with the justice minister, "Mama, the children they got right. Oh, look at it here." And they said that they're coming. Why I want to deny them? And when they look at it, they say, "Oh my goodness, for sure." And this is where the Falcons, the people of the Falcon, Eugene Falcon group, and the so-called intellectual of the CDC, this is where they separate. Because they're saying, look, the international community are looking at us. These people are pouring money in here to strengthen certain institutions. And we're not going to just blindly follow those who have their emotions running high. Because remember now, it was the same Falcon who suggested or even predicted that Costa was going to be arrested. And the minister just came out and said, nobody arresting anybody here. Because nobody have committed any crime. Okay? So the justice minister, and one of the interesting things that I'm looking at right now, folks, this is going to be, if you're a political junkie, don't get angry with the government. Don't get angry with Costa. Sit tight and just look at it, read the situation, and you will enjoy it. The only thing I say is continue to pray for one another, because our brothers and sisters are suffering as well. Okay? So the interesting thing is, the justice minister, the seditions, the highliners, is the sedition you will call them, I will call, because those are my brothers and sisters as well. I can't call them any other name but to say highliner. The highliner are claiming for the justice minister hair. Not literally, please, no violence. But they want him fired because he's not doing things they want him to do. If he were to follow some of the suggestions from the highliner, by this time we have serious issue in Liberia already. But the interesting fact here is this. Why you think Dr. Weah is still holding on to this man? This is what I think. Dr. Weah is having issue economically. The international community is on him. Most of the program right now, they're firing from IMF. IMF suggesting. Well, the IMF one suggestion is just me suggesting to my son, you got to clean, you don't think you need to clean your room? I'm suggesting. But guess what? He's going to, because he's my son. So IMF is saying, you don't think your wage bill is damaging you? Something to focus. This book that bad thing. Hey, you know, boy, you bad man. You the buku man. You boyo. IMF telling her, you think say your wage bill is damaging you? They say, oh yeah. Folks, I'm enjoying myself on the Christmas Day. I'm telling you, it's funny. It's funny. It's real funny. But these are things that are happening. Folks are not prepared. Same situation here. So the interesting thing is, Dr. Weah is having issue economically. People are watching. Now, the other aspect, the one that is a linchpin of the peace that he's been crying for is the justice system, the law enforcement system. And that he doesn't want any kinds of hardliner coming in that area, because then he will find himself deeply in a hole quicker than where he's thinking. So what do? Then you keep Musa Din. Musa Din, who the protesters and some of the intellectuals consider to be a softy. He's not soft, but he's following the law. Okay, so by him staying there, it gave some sort of a buffer zone for Dr. Weir and those hardliners. Okay, so this is getting interesting in Liberia. If you're Liberian and you're a political junkie, the only thing our people are suffering. That's the only sad part. But if the economy was well, and the situation with the brouhaha going, that would be very enjoyable. But anyway, things are not that great right now. But anyhow, so Musa D is there. But here's what happened here with the meeting. I felt bad for them when I heard Costa saying it. I felt bad for Musa D, and I felt bad for the government. I felt, I'm not going to say ashamed, maybe not even embarrassed, because it's a government. Sometimes they make mistakes. That's fine. As long as people don't get killed or get hurt, that's fine. But this mistake here, this intellectual mistake, it cost them. It cost them dearly in terms of credibility, in terms of standing within the law enforcement intellectual group. It cost them by them rushing to make in their decision-making process, in the judgment. It cost them. Because after the minister of justice wrote these people, denying them their request. They denied them the request based on information that was not in that letter. And you got people here calling themselves a student of a law student and things like that. They all were on Facebook. Oh, the minister is right, blah, blah, blah. The minister and the people, they're eating crow right now. They have to. They have no other choice but to eat crow. Costa, and once again to show how respectful and humility he is, you don't hear him crowing much. You don't hear him, I told you so, I told you so. He's not doing that. Because Costa is himself. He's also under scrutiny, big time. And he's quite aware of it. And so he's guiding himself. As much as anger as he gets sometimes, words that comes out of his mouth are guided. Even when he made this statement about somebody can't want to kill me out myself, he was very careful how he run that line. But I'm not going to touch that right now, folks. It's getting interesting in Liberia, folks. I'm telling you. So anyway, let's go back to Musa D and Costa meeting. Costa told you that the Minister of Justice is now saying, based on the new information, which is the old new information. You see what I'm saying? Old new information, because that was the same. They have not changed anything. Nothing have changed, except people were reading into it because Costa's the chairman, and Costa makes statement on his radio show. Costa is chairman on his radio show. He's an individual of the COP. The COP presented their case, and in that case, there's nothing in there to say George Weah must calm down. They're gonna assemble. And they are setting group within, just like in the CDC, they got highliner as well in the COP. Well, we can't put that there, George Weah account, and the smart people there, the amount, they say, no, that's not our job. The Constitution does not give us the right to ask the government to give us protection because we want the government to step down. But then other people argue, we've been saying that, yes, you have the right to say so as an individual. But as an entity, as a group, we're presenting our case. We can't say that. They got smart people among them. And they will continue until the government of the Republic of Liberia realize that this is not time to get angry. You deal with these young people intellectually, and you will win. Engage them in advance. I've been saying from day one, the government should have stepped ahead of the protest and take control of the protest. Not that you want people to come and protest against you, but you provide the avenue. You will find out quickly if this government of the Republic of Liberia have taken the lead. These people would have been fighting among themselves a long time. You remember what happened to June 7th? Immediately after June 7th, they started fighting, biting each other. It's the same thing, the same group, they're still there. But when you force them to hold together, then you have issue. You join them, not in a negative sense, but how can we help you? What is it you say you want us to do? Oh no, we don't want to talk to you. We want to have okay. Where you want to have your protest? Oh, the government will provide the avenue for you. And you be like, let them do whatever they want to do, fine. As long you continue to insist when you're dealing with them, you continue to insist that the government has the right and the constitutional mandate to protect lives, to protect property, and make sure those that are not part of the protest also must be free of movement. They should be free to move around anytime. Make the protester to understand that. But if you say you don't want to talk to them, you don't want to do anything with them, then you're not helping the situation. That's exactly what happened to the meeting. When they went to the meeting, you know how many people were at the meeting? When they went to the meeting, the international community were there. I told you, COP have already established themselves as being peaceful. You can't change that. Nothing you will do to change it. It's in a record. So when they got there, they already have advantage. And any kind of negotiation you put before them, you can't tell them in a meeting to say, no, we don't want you to demonstrate because your show, the last time you were here, people got hurt. That we don't want that kind of thing. You can't say it because that's not the truth. What are you going to say? You're going to say, we hope that when you're doing it, you repeat what happened the last time. Nobody should get hurt. They say, okay. But guess what? What hurt the government with that nonsense they did? That's exactly what Costa pointed out. He said, as he told the international community, he said, we'll be peaceful. You know our record. Our record is there. You don't have to research. As long there's no provocation. In other words, as long government can't step in and start foolishness. And the fact that the government has stopped, because many of these people keep hurting themselves every time you turn around. They hurt themselves. This is not, the civil war is over. This is an intellectual war. And if you're not prepared, you're going to be left behind. Simple. There's nothing else. Nothing else will help you. When the black cut stuff from going downtown and people got hurt, you can't accuse Custer and his people. Because if you do that, let's be logical a little bit. Of course, logic is not my subject because I ran away from that. I told you that already. But let's be logical a little bit. Custer and his group, they started from Rawalsfield all the way to Monrovia. You hear old lady complaining the people eat my bunny on the way. They were going the different area, they ate my bunny. You hear that complaint. Oh, the people came here, plenty of them, they just run in my house and took my water and start drinking. You hear no complaint. You hear complaint. People, oh, they root out my cassava on the farm, on the road, and then they start eating because they were hungry. You hear it. Then when they almost got to send up Monroe, then you say, no, you're not going anywhere because you'll start trouble. You want somebody, logical person to believe that. They start trouble. But when they get into Monroe, then they go into the center of the city. That's the time they will start trouble. And even if you look at some of the video that day, Mo Ali made a statement to one of the police officers, to the group of police. He said, anybody that disobey what we're saying because they wanted them to go across the road. He said, anybody that refused to go across the road, officer, when I point them, I'll get them from my mouth up because those are troublemakers. We don't want them. They're on record. You can't wrap violence around their neck. So what other choice you have? Exactly what it did. So when they went to the meeting, the justice minister, oh, okay. I thought you thought. Justice Minister of the Republic of Liberia, I thought the letter you sent all you wanted. Folks, it's Christmas. I have to do this. Just 10 minutes to the Franklin Liberia. They send you a letter, then you say you thought. I thought you said. You thought they said? So what next? They have to compromise. This is what you get if you're not quite prepared. If you're going to do things with emotions, you're not ready. Because to lead stupid people like Samson too, you have to be ready. You have to be flexible. There are certain times you take high line, and people will understand that. And there are certain times you say, okay, what exactly you say you want to do, even if they have stated that. You connect with them. It's okay. Thank you for the letter, but I will propose a meeting. So you hear them from your own mouth. If perhaps the letter they wrote, some of them they just they can't read and they can't write. So you set a meeting up and say, okay, what exactly do you guys want to do? But because they are anxious, so much anxious, the pressure on Mossadegh was so much to find that these people don't even no room to breathe. They say they don't even deal with them. How are you going to say that? These are Liberians. They have the constitutional rights. But because you disagree with them, then you want to put a roadblock. You do that. In this days of age, especially the young people with PhD, WD, EED, they got all the degree. They're young. Degree. You do that, they will wash your clothes outside. Mossadegh, he said, I thought, excuse me, folks. Samson too. I'm having fun on a Christmas day, folks. I'm having fun. You minister justice. Then you say, I thought. Okay. What you thought was there was not there. So what you got to say? You say, okay, according to Custer, the minister agreed to provide the protection. It's not over yet. So, but the thing is, when he made that, what Custer is saying now, that he made that statement before other dignitaries, other people from different countries, people who are watching. Now they have put themselves in a situation now that they're going to have to make sure no violence. Because if any violence comes in, they're going to look at, first of all, they look at the records. I've been going back to that again. I'm sorry, but to repeat that. COP have done it before. So what happened this time? They're going to look at it. They say, oh, but what happened when Costa got here? The government started something. Oh, okay. Who are those? And this is where this Chris Smith letter really, really hurtful to the government. To be honest with you. The Chris Smith letter put the government in a box so bad that the government has no other choice but to have those people to march freely. However, the government, it ain't like yet, can find something. I'm saying this, and I'm not being ridiculous. They can find something in the Constitution. If the protest, if Mossadegh and his people recognize that this protest is not going to be peaceful, that they're unable to control the element from their side, okay? They are unable to control the element from their side. But with us coming up to say Sabu unit or Yubu unit or whatever unit they call, we ain't got control over them, then the best you can do, take the COP to court. There are certain things in the Constitution. Costa stated that this is an entity. And there are certain things in the Constitution that say an entity that is not registered, okay, can be asked to disband itself, and that there's nothing they can do for government to recognize that. But you cannot and you must not meet these people in the street, because you're not going to win. Yeah, brutalizing them, beating them, hurting them, or whatever, even killing, whatever. You can do that because your government, you have the power. But how much is that going to hurt you, your image, Is that what you want, Dr. Weir? Somebody who has played soccer in the international stage? People all over the world know you exactly who you are, that you're a peaceful person. Out of a second, somebody going to get hurt under your leadership because certain group want to advance their interest. No, so Dr. Weir is also in a very big bind. But this is where almost Smith letter is going to be very painful, because almost Smith have already, even whether it come from a human rights group or that are not never we are group or whatever you want to call them, but as long as he made that statement, and the way, in my opinion, the way the government engaged Mr. Smith, almost Smith, I thought was wrong. My opinion, I could be wrong, okay. But I thought the best way to that could have happened and have maximum effect on their denial or on their retribution or whatever it is against Mr. Smith is to invite the American ambassador in the house of the foreign ministry and say, what is this coming from your representative? Why is he sending this thing here? Has he even talked to us? Or he just going to make a statement from one side because somebody say? Has he talked to us? Has he visited the state to see whatever information they're giving him, is it true? Madam Ambassador, why do we have these kinds of stuff? And I can assure you, she will tell you, I will get back with you people. And then most likely she will contact the State Department here in the United States. And the State Department will contact, because they don't want to be responsible for anything to go bad in Liberia either. But the fact that they have decided to respond directly to Ormo Smith, they have given credence to whatever it is that Ormo Smith is suggesting that. And yet bad things about that. Other people that want to do business in Liberia, this thing will be reflected. They will be seen. You want to do business in Liberia, you got Jefferson culture where they got people hurting people and doing X, Y, and Z. It's already in there. They will look at it. And who is Jefferson culture? He's a mayor. Oh, mayor of the city? What, we want to do business? I don't want my money to go over there. Then the investor telling the company, I don't want my money in there. That's not the place that I can. The people invest to get something. Investment. They invest to get something. And then you want to invest in Monroe. What if city mayor is being accused of these kinds of stuff? This thing is bad. Everywhere you look, it's bad. There's nothing here for you can pretend to say you can defend. I doubt it. Okay? So let's go back to Custer. So Custer now has the green light to protest with his group. And that the government, under the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, must and will and shall provide protection for the protester. Okay? So let's look at the other stuff. Custer says something else. And the reporters, now, here's the same thing that I was saying. In order to engage Custer, you have to look at the entire process that he's been involved in. When I told you guys here before that Custer is respectful, people don't believe it, but one of these days I have all the video and I will tell you. People didn't believe it, but I know that. He's not a person. Yeah, he can be very aggressive sometimes as he approached the president. Because first of all, sometimes Custer take it to a level that I am not comfortable with, to be honest with you. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have this is right, freedom of speech, free speech. But the question then to people like Custer is, when do your free speech stop and where my freedom start? Those are the junction area that we have to all be careful about. But Custer says something here. The reporter has the opportunity to ask, and they started wondering, has Custer changed his mind? Because they've been saying Judge Weir must step down. Out of a certain now, they're changing it as being gathering. So has Custer changed his mind? And Custer said, let me educate you a little bit more. Listen to this. Samson told LeBron Popular folks, It's Christmas. We're enjoying ourselves, and I want to thank all of you for your support of listening to us. Let's listen to Custer for Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio.
I really want to find out from you, basically, the nomenclature for this entire December 30th protest. Is it about we are stepped down, or is it about, for President, we have to listen to what is contained in your June 7th protest?
Thank you very much. As I just stated here, in our official communication, which we sent to the Ministry of Justice over a month ago, we asked for the right to assemble, to peaceably assemble, and petition our government as a follow-up to June 7th. So in officially speaking, it is not a step down. But individual members of the COP, it is their wish, it is their desire, and they are voicing that desire. But the official position of the COP, consistent with the communication, is to assemble. When we assemble, we can petition the government, we can do whatever, but that is a fundamental constitutional right. And so the Minister of Justice said, well, on that note, I am now under obligation to ensure I provide you security.
I really want to find out from you, basically, the nomenclature for...
You got that? Because the people, only me, it seemed like, because I got copy of Custer when he was angry that night, making his statement. For me, it was night, but in LIBERIA was in the day. Okay? When he was making his statement. So whenever he makes statement that I found very interesting, I keep those things. And here he is. People saying, he said, no, individuals have the right to make certain pronouncement. But as long as this is not the position of the entity, then you cannot and you must not tie this judge we have stepped down around the neck of the entity. Oh, my brother. Yeah. Let's go. Well, I got one more video, and then I'll open the line, folks. Those of you that want to have a conversation on Christmas afternoon, we can do so. Let's watch this other video. It's same line, same type of context, of course. Costa will continue to explain, and you can see that at one point he wants to glow, but then he's thinking to himself, no, this is not the right thing to do, because I'm talking for the Liberian people. I'm not talking for myself. The young man is smart, and you can't get around that. You know why? You can't get around. Let's be honest. I don't know him. He doesn't even know me. But it's I got some smart people that I know here that are watching me. I just don't want to call their name because they'll be embarrassed. But when I'm having a conversation with them, I know they're smart, because there's a lot of time they're taking me to the clinic. There's a young man here that's been watching me. I call him after I finish telling him something. He said, "Yeah, big bro, they want help out. I think you're wrong. You can't do that because that's something that I'll tell him." He said, "Give me a reason," and then he lay out his reason. I might not agree with him, but that's the reason he giving me. And then at the end, you find out that's how they're supposed to be. So none of us have monopoly over ideas. These are things that comes out of individual. And that's why I keep saying to you all, when you involve in an engagement, have two ideas going with you. One, stick as your position and hold your position. Second, have a compromise somewhere. Anytime your position becomes shaky, you compromise. That means you still have something on there and you agree, you tell the person, this is what I have, you're still holding on to your position, but you're compromising, still holding to certain thing in your position. But if you refuse to compromise, and the people make your position so weak that even if you present a compromise, your position no longer part of that compromise. Am I making sense? And that's why when you engage, you always find room for compromise, no matter what. Because the two people having conversation and arguing or debating or some sort of a dispute, the process is to find compromise. Being able to find compromise in anything does not give you a weaker position. Does not mean that you are weak as a human being. Does not mean you have no integrity as a human being. No. Far from it. In fact, I believe that if you compromise and have a situation resolved, you become more stronger because your position is also part of that process. It's part of that process, compromising process that I'm talking about. Because they're not going to negate that your position, the fact that you agree to compromise. But I'm saying if you allow your position to be weakened by the argument, the opposite argument that you're putting through, it becomes so clear that you're no longer standing on a solid ground. Whatever compromise you give, all of your position will not be part of that. It might be a little bit, but then you stand no good chance now. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. Let's listen to Costa last one, where the people still questioning, but he would tell us. Let's listen to the Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, and I'll open the line. I'm sorry we had an issue earlier, and I'll open the line, folks. Let's listen here.
Henry Costa, we witnessed your arrival and we saw some unfortunate situations that took place. And telling us here that the government has agreed through the Ministry of Justice to grant you security. Is it official? Because we saw their response that came out a few months ago or a month ago, the response that came out. We want to know if this is official or they just did it in order to cool you down ahead of the December 30th protest. And again, this question will come: how long are you going to stay in the street for?
Thank you very much. Again, I want to say the Minister of Justice said this in front of the resident coordinator of the United Nations, the ECOWAS ambassador, the president of the Interreligious Council, and officials. 3 other cabinet ministers were there. He said if it's not a step down officially, since our communication did not officially say step down, since our rejoinder or our letter to his letter did not officially say step down, he is officially on an obligation to grant us security because it's a fundamental right.
Okay. Henry Costa, we witnessed your arrival and we saw some unfortunate.
Yeah, that the witness is a driver and it's so unfortunate that they already put the government, folks, this is Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. It's Christmas evening, and I want to thank all of you that continue to follow our podcast. We appreciate it. And again, let me just say this here before I open the line. All along, I've been here for more than an hour or so, even 2. You have not heard me insulting anybody. Nobody. I use words, language that I will be able to be comfortable with. And so if the opportunity is given to any of us to explain or to engage, let us not use words that we might not find comfortable within ourselves. You don't want to use words that you don't want people to use on you. This is a platform that the LIBERIA Public Radio has given us to intellectually engage each other. So we're not here to insult, and let us not try to go that route either. So I'm just saying this. And secondly, my goodness, it's Christmas. So even if you don't agree with the person, I know all of you that are watching here, highly educated, all of you, because this is a platform, an educational platform. This is an intellectual platform. You can't come here just coming from Town. I'm the only person who's not educated among here. But every one of you, y'all know what you're talking about. What is the definition of education, please? Not necessarily classroom, but experience. And all of you that have been watching me, you're watching me from the comfort of your own home. How did you get that? Most of you don't have mind and power here. Most of you, when you came here, you didn't even get fastened. But because of the culture, your Liberian culture, the hard work culture that is in you, you were able to sacrifice. There were certain things you wanted, but you wanted to make sure that in order for you to get those things legally, you must be able to sacrifice yourself to be able to go to school, to be able to work, and be able to get what you want. That is within itself an educational process. So you don't have to be a PhD in order to be educated. So I'm just going to ask you, as I'm going to be opening the line, to please help us out. Let's have a conversation that will be conducive for Christmas, number one. Second, let's have a conversation that we will be able to agree to disagree, as people would say. This is a platform that we use the language that we'll be comfortable with. And with that, I will, first of all, if you care to go now, you don't want to be part of the conversation, that's okay. That's okay as well. It's Christmas. But all I've said to you, though, is that please stay safe. Stay safe, because Mr. Alfonso Zion, so as you saw yesterday, he doesn't pull punches. He's not a liberal. He ain't coming here to come, oh, what you say, oh, why long the way? No. Alfonso so doesn't, he's not rude, he's not insulting, but he's very factual and very truthful and firm in his belief. So you coming to come on Mr. Social and you want to come bluff, like you coming to bluff something to, you got another thing coming. So I want you to stay safe, so at least you can turn to Mr. Social tomorrow, and then as usual, so you'll be able to be enlightened. Because that's all he does, is to enlighten you of what is happening. This is Samson to LeBron Pablito. While I'm trying to find let's see. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Just bear with me. If you want to leave, that's okay as well. But I'm going to be playing. Okay. Just hold on. Let's see what it is. No, that's not it. Let's see. I think this is it. Okay, hold on. Yes. Yes, it's Christmas. We're doing our best. So just stay with us. Samson to LeBron Pop Radio.
die ba ina di. Ni ana di o yi tu bo tu to kule na di.
Okay, folks, Samson too. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. Let's open the lines up. Let's open the lines and see what do you have. What do you have? So I'm going to now get off of this and go to the line. Yeah, Samson to LeBron Public Radio. We want to thank all of you again. We love this. We love this. And then the fact that we're here doing this, it's not like we have monopoly over the ideas or what have you. These are all speculations and suggestion and whatever you want to call it. So it's not like I just had a conversation with Costa, or I had a conversation with Justice Minister, but these are things you read between the lines. So I'm not holding them as being take it to the bank. So you have the right to reject. In fact, I will expect you to reject and not just take it and run with it. So let's do this. Let's give ourselves an opportunity here. Give me a call, Samson, too. I'm not going to be here for the call that long. But if the interesting call are coming in on a Christmas day, then we're not going to leave. We're going to be here for quite a while. Give me a call, 916-533-2048. Live from Sacramento, California, Samson Toll. LIBERIA Public Radio, give me a call. Okay? Let's see. In the meantime, let me entertain you with music, of course. Samson Toll. Samson Toll, LIBERIA Public Radio. What's your name? What's you calling from? What's on your mind? Go ahead.
Yeah, let me, my man, you know, still on this today, man. Let me look my monitor. How you been, Lodi?
We're doing fine. Go ahead, my brother.
Merry Christmas to you and your family and prosperous years to come.
Thank you.
My name is Burr.
Okay.
I love to be on my Lodi's show.
That's good. Thank you very much.
You see, as I sit in my chair, I sat down, I follow you, even when you went off and came back.
Right, and I appreciate that.
I follow you throughout. You see, education pays a lot, even if you can get a doctorate degree or either the master degree. If you can, there's another way. Our forefather taught us how to be humble, intelligent, and approach issues according to how it's supposed to be. Your analysis this evening, I sat down, it reminded me of my late father. He was a teacher for 29 years. He taught me how to be humble. He taught me how to understand people. He taught me how to reason between the lines when people are. You talk a lot, brother. You talk a lot. You see, I don't know what you're doing in this country. Oh, no, something. Don't laugh, Mr. Toe. Don't laugh. I don't see the reason why you are a Francis, So, who can a man among many others are doing in this country. You guys are supposed to go in Liberia and serve your country diligently. Some of us are anxious, and we need to serve our people also. But you see, our problems in our country. If this person is this person cannot be this person. Our suffering with the Liberian people. I believe when Dr. Weah, our president, was elected, we're going to look for potential Liberians like you, like Efanso, like Sekou Kene, and many others who are following you guys' footprint to sit down. How they call this boy? How they call the other man? Oh God, man, he's one of the talk show hosts. He comes out to narrate the early days show all the time about CRC. How they call him? Can you please call his name for me?
Is that Cummings?
Yeah, Cummings. I believe George Weah, when George Weah was forming his government, he should have looked for you guys to go there. But my point here, in short, what all you said, it boiled down to the burning issues in our country. You know, as I said always, Doe was my favorite. He was one of my favorite presidents of the Republic of Liberia since I began knowing myself. Doe learned a lot. Doe learned very fast. Doe understand the issue at that time when he was president. But this crazy war, excuse me, something, this crazy war that happened between Gio, Mano, and current people, senseless war that we resolve today. In your analysis, all of these things were said. But my advice to President Doe, brother, so you have investment in Liberia. You have in Liberia. You have other relatives in Liberia. Why can't we put together that we will always have to have other people to come and sit among us for us to express our grievances to them? Are we not human? Are we not intelligent enough to settle differences?
Yeah. Okay. All right, my brother.
Look at what happened.
Right.
The analysis you made. Who drove from Hara IA all the way to Bamuma Gate? If you can stop the person, there were some things that happened. It was going to be easy, gentlemen. The president is at the executive marshal. Can you guide a different route to go? Will there be violence? No. But you know, your talks, you are saying, your analysis this evening, it eased down my heart. It really eased down my heart. I'm learning from you and Evangelist too. You don't need to go to class to learn politics. No, how do you call it? Polyphonic courses that people say, just watching TV alone, you can learn from others. I'm learning from you guys. I'm learning real politics.
Thank you.
Politics from you guys to speak.
Right. Okay.
But anyway, continue the good work you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
You, a family, Cummings, and Sekou Kene. People will recommend you people tomorrow to serve in the Liberian government. If you were one of those that put in the Liberian government, if I have the opportunity to recommend people to serve in higher positions, Era, I would say you're a point apostle, you're a point Sasuke, you're a point Komesh, a point Neku, to be
Okay.
right the president.
Thank you, my brother.
To
We
be
got.
right the president, this effort.
Thank you. We
Thank
got.
you very much.
Thank
And
you.
I just want you all to go far away from the president. You are using the president also as a senior advisor to the president.
Thank you.
If
Thank
some
you.
of you serve in the
Okay.
Liberian government, it will take difference. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. I'm sorry, folks, if you're listening. Sometimes when somebody's on the line, I can't just cut them off like that. And give them the opportunity to explain himself, and that's why. So please forgive me if it takes too long. But go ahead, make your point, sir. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
I'm Lionel Gibson calling from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually listened to you discussing the issue, and I really enjoy it. I've watched so many shows, and I think you already started. You know, I didn't see bias in what you were saying, which is a good thing. And I tell you what, like government is one of the reasons why, you know, Henry has handled all this admiration and support. You know, you don't handle the issue properly, you handle your own sentiment, and that's why Henry is where he is today. Which and they should blame themselves, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the problem. They should blame themselves. The CDC government can stop according to them to do. Instead of the people coming on and propagating their message, all they do is Henry Costa, Henry Costa, Henry Costa. At the end of the day, you make the news to be, you know, for people to know who this Henry Costa is. So they should blame themselves. In the first place, none of them address issues with, you know, bringing people to the first sentiment. So you have to think now. You see the new thing for this whole let's say passive thing.
Mm-hmm.
But think about it. Most of us in America know for many years people go to Liberia. It's not a secret thing.
Right.
People go Ghana. You see, it's not ignorant and insanity to the sentimental stuff they don't understand. A lot of people go Ghana, get less.
Are you with me?
Yeah, so most people go, you know, leave from here to go Ghana. They take the electric pass and go like right. It's not there. It's long before we even came to America that we do.
Right.
Those are all the time we do that.
Right.
So they came on an issue. They did not address the real fact that it's bad for immigration and to put out a private citizen immigration information. They say, oh, yeah, and all these people so they should do it. So I asked the guy, are you comparing every contact to the whole government immigration service? And it take a private citizen. It's just crazy, man. You take a private citizen immigration document and publish it on Facebook.
Right.
They don't address that. They let go outside the thing where they want to know I hear for the people. These people are crazy. I'm telling you. And I feel sorry. They don't tell you the thing is back up there. I don't tell you what happened. The day I went to Liberia, I cried. And sir, the reason I cried is not because of Henry. See why I cried. I actually cried really. It hurt me. This is my personal friend. But I care for whether I'm doing it or not. I can't because of like you. I can't because I do that. The one person all like during how whole thing have disappointed us in that stuff. Yeah. And I'll tell you what. George Weah was popular. Then popular. He's a celebrity. He's the one we grew up knowing. You know, the stuff like that. All the young people grew up knowing George Weah. They believe that George Weah will be the change and all expect this name and there eventually. So that's what people believe. I go for him. I'm going to do it, you know.
Right.
But I mean, like, I don't know what people are.
Okay.
Now, over George Weah, we see a young man who is a talk show host has all this admiration.
Right.
It broke my heart. And that's what, if it shouldn't be on George Weah, it should be on Lady Perry or Europe or Perry or George Weah. Okay? Because
Okay.
you allow that for yourself, you feel.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but yeah. All right, thanks for the show.
Thank you.
Okay.
Samson told LeBron Public Radio, what's your name and where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
How are you, Mr. Toe?
Not bad.
Thank you so much for the show.
Yeah,
My name is Rebecca.
Yeah, Rebecca, can you try to lower your monitor?
Okay, yes, sir, I will.
Okay, appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much for the show. They kind of time we find ourselves in, we need that kind of show almost every day. Because your own show is completely different from every other show I have been watching. And I'm a sponsor supporter. And, but we need show like this. We need to be educated. Your show is completely different, and I love it. I'm just sitting here just laughing and learning. It's like I'm kind of up. It's like I'm right now learning. It is one of the best intelligent show I ever witnessed and sit back and watch and listen to, and I'm enjoying it. And thank you so much, Toto. Can you please come on this show every time to educate some of us? Please, I'm begging you. I am really begging you, sir. I know you got your time, you got your bills to pay, you got to go. But damn, where you guys? Hey, we need you guys. We really need you people, man. Especially man like you. Like what I'm listening right now is like, is he really a Liberian? Like where you from? What part of Liberia you from, brother? You very attention. I love it, and thank you so much. And we need you. We need you guys for Liberia. We need you. That's you, the people we need. We need you so much. Thank you. That's all I want to say. I'm not coming sit there and talk about politics and all that stuff. I'm in it. I've been talking it, and I'm still talking it, but I just want to call to say thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I'm sitting here and I'm still watching it. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, folks, Samson to Labrador Public Radio. I mean, I'm very appreciative of all of you making comment. This is not something that is new. I mean, the first thing is the way I approach this is that first of all, I'm a Liberian. I grew up in the street of Monrovia. First thing, and second thing is violence does not pay anybody, and especially the fact that we have gone through the process of experiencing violence in the past, and so we want to make sure these things. I'll make my statement. Hold on 1 minute, sir. I will come to you, ma'am. I will come to you. But in the process and the point that I'm making, violence should not be the answer. And let us do all we can as Liberians to avoid violence. What's your name and where you're calling from, Samson to Labrador Public Radio? What's on your mind?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Tom. My name is Nathan Cohen, calling from Nigeria.
Thank you.
I'm one of the followers of this program with that of Mr. Soul. And just from the beginning, your intro for the Justice Minister of the Republic to say, I think one of the chief decision makers legally to say, I think, to speak without clarity. And just as you said, Costa arrived. His people are following him. The left and right was free. They came to Dwason. Nobody said they put Thomas plenty. They put Burma market down. They came to rehab all the way shopping. Nothing happened. So Babuma, you can't stop him. You are creating a thing that is unnecessary. You try to create commotion when you did one controlling these things. And Costa, he was right. He said, look, I'm an individual. I have my feelings. I think you step down, but that's the position that was waiting to you, Mr. Minister. So go by what was waiting to you. I mean, it's so sad. The country is confused. The government, like the spoke before the last battle, the president needs a good communication team. I mean, you will do a lot of good to send for his message and to interpret it. He got Sargon over there. Sargon today is a Kabbalist, the next he's a nationalist. He got Mr. Eugene Namwe, who will go to the world, VOA, and say, come here, paying people. I know it's not true. When you said the peaceful volunteers are living like due to logistical problems, when they put themselves, say, no, it's not. That's from the problem they are living. And you get people with mixed messages. He started reading and said, look, I could never meet or negotiate with these people. Today, 4 of his high-ranking ministers were there.
Mm-hmm.
Who is advising this man? Who is, I mean, how do, when you're a president, when you speak with clarity, your words should be the live word. Besides saying there is your food, all things immature, but that's who you are. We can't have one. Yeah, because when we were growing up, I'm sorry, the tour. I mean, it's something like a elementary student of fourth grade or eighth grade. The children, hey, mama, they make it enough food. They left. How we go to work? But for 65-year-old person to say, "No, I want to spend more in my food." I mean, is that the really important thing? You can say the country is struggling. We have an economy that is collapsing. We have a system. We don't know how day breaks, how the day goes. There are Liberians that go to bed, don't know when to wake up. People get sick, people die from malaria. And it's curable diseases. Liberians go to bed. I spoke to one economist today in Liberia. I just want to know how many bags of rice in Liberians eat a day. He said, we eat over 10,000 bags of rice a day. I said, well, how much bags of rice of that do we produce? He said, did you say produce? I said, I don't produce. He said, zero. And you think the president will be constructive enough to engage the private sector rather than engaging individuals and talking these things and help us that personal letter. The kind of challenge that letter that the man is speaking for opinion. I spoke to the president, he said, oh, you don't speak when you want to speak. People they speak from an analysis of CIA and the training communities that they have resolved. They bring to these people. So when they speak, they don't speak because you say, Nathan, where do you think Chris Miller Jordan go in from? No. You think they also on TV? No. But these are information that they are getting from their intelligence on the ground. And some justice commission who is that they are not government related agencies, they are NGO taking justice. In fact, this is damage for the president and his party. And who claim to be peaceful for a U.S. representative who has ideas of foreign services to say the president, his government, they are involved in torture. And they are involved in malpractice and corruption. It's almost unhearing. How can you say that is lie? Well, I know a minister who came to power, he was in one house for $50 US. Now he got 2 houses for himself. And you want to deny these things, Mr. President? Then you might say, yeah. Helen Sandy, she was corrupt, I'm not backing up, but she will always pretend we are funding corruption. We know it here. But if it is not there, then you have a problem. Yeah? And that is where the problem is. This president is out of touch. This president, I always say this, from the day this president brought Emmanuel Shaw on board, this man, imagine nothing less than a money, like a car artist.
Okay.
This man saw our office clean.
Okay, my brother. Let us try and stay up. It's Christmas Day, my brother. It's Christmas Day. So
yeah, but
we'll come to those on another day. But today, I just want us to find a reason to agree to disagree. But thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So I feel so. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Again, folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. We're here once again. Give me a call, 916. It's Christmas Day. We're having fun here. What time is it? On my side, it's 6:25. On your side, in the East Coast, it's 9:25. Oh, my wife's insurance will be coming here today. Anyway, folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. I will continue to entertain you. Give me a call, 916-533-2048. Let me play a little more music here and see. Oh, okay. Ah, yes. In your job,
Zivo diodi, zivo ediwe tage doble kelio.
Samson told LeBron Pablo, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
I'm Leo calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Thank you very much, Leo, for joining us. We appreciate it. What's on your mind, sir?
Yes, I just want to add a commendation that previous give you, and thank you for being so much objective in your analysis, and as everybody just say, I think we admit to the truth. I think we will be able to move ahead, but whereas we are always in denial or always trying to defend what can be defended, then of course we will always continue to encounter problems in Liberia. Like just what other people are saying, even with the audio tape that they are talking about, the leaked audio tape. Do you know that some institutions who are institution social hosts deny that the audio tape is not true, that Costa then made up that audio tape when Mora Molu and himself has agreed that the audio tape was, yes, it was their doing. And people, I watched, I think, Classic D last night, or one of their talk show saying that that was something that they went, Costa, they went and recorded themselves and changed the voice and let it. See, so when these things are happening, then we not get to know our mistakes. You know, so it's something that we all as like have to just sit and it's not a matter of you love the president, so when he goes wrong, then you can't admit that he has gone wrong. And exactly like what you were saying about the letter for the congressman, look at the number of, you think these people are not monitoring all these social media or even their agents? Look at all the insults that institutions are doing this thing. That's why somebody said today, you see, if that congressman has said, oh, course, the COP should not stage protest, you know, the institution fly all over our social media, praise this congressman. But because you're saying the truth, they are there insulting him, saying all kinds of things about him. So as I'm really saying, I think people like you, people will really appreciate you for coming on the show at least twice, 3 times every week, so that some of these people, and where some of them are sitting there for your analysis, they are coming to themselves to know that that's the fact you are saying, so that these people can be, actually we can be able to take them from that kind of message can be moved and put in the right state of mind, so that this country can move out. It's not one person doing this. That's why I always say the harder is you can't distinguish institution from Unity Party member or from Liberty Party member. Everybody's a fixing. But still, there are people who are taking priority. The country is here. The country is okay because why? They want to defend our ego. However, as it went on, most of them are ego defense mechanism. They are all. They know they made a wrong decision. So now they can't come out and say, oh, yeah, the decision we made is wrong. Some of them are not admitted, but others who are not admitted to it again, this was something that we never expected. We thought it was going to be that like this. So thank you very much for sure. Continue to come on and be able to lecture also that we can be able to change our mind.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. Samson told LeBron Public Radio, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Yeah, Mr. Tor, how you doing?
Yeah, but if you don't mind, please lower your monitor or something like that.
There's no monitor on.
Okay.
Am I okay?
Okay. We're still having echo coming from.
Oh, what I want. Okay, am I okay right now?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. First of all, I'm on visa, right? I'm calling from Minnesota.
Thank you.
USA. Yeah, first of all, happy Christmas to every one of you.
Thank you.
Host. I will also say that it's one for the education. The education. The lecture is so inspiration. It's inspiring, and the lecturer knows, the difference between, host, social host, when it comes to Liberia issues. My first thought on this issue will have to do with Mr. Chris, the congressional man. You know, it's just unfortunate that our people are still in denial. You know, so without understanding the powers of the people of Congress. Just recently, I think it was on the 24th, a film activist, an activist in Nigeria, he was detained by the Nigerian government. I don't know if you follow it or not. On the 23rd, a congressional man from New Jersey have a press conference on that issue, on the activist issue. I think his name is Soari. He was detained by the Nigerian government. Yeah. And after the release of the congressional man, Buhari ordered the Attorney General of Nigeria to release the man. On the 24th, he was released. Right. You understand? But this guy is similar to still understand how this guy went. That guy was released as soon as the man finished with his conference. You see, the guy should be released now. And he was released under the commands of Buhari. Mm-hmm. You understand? Right. So that's the reason Liberians saying, can you imagine after the letter of release, you just go went and wrote something on Facebook. You know what? In less than 30 minutes, he was told to put it down. Yeah? He was told to put it down. And before doing that, you know what I mean? All the screenshot out, you know, that plus. And people started pushing it all over. Right. These are reasons that the government is weak. The communications is completely, they are contradicting each other because there are something I see the government have differences when it comes to that. One, there are people who have a personal greed or hatred toward Costa. You understand? And they're in the government. They want to use the government to communicate a hate message against Costa, and which of course they are even, you know, they are damaging the image of the government. That's one of the reasons. And one of the they are failed to understand Costa is not discussing individual. Costa is fighting the system. An individual fighting Costa. These are the difference between Costas and little guys, as you said, when it comes intellectually, he was definitely better than like Axel. The guy, he understands. He fight the system. And other people over there, they are fighting Costa. You see the difference?
Yeah. Okay.
These are some of the differences. And I hope you guys can always come on and educate us. I don't have much to do. This is Christmas, and I say happy Christmas to every one of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the course, and thank you so much for the lecture.
Thank you.
Have a blessed night.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. We appreciate it. Again, folks, Sam Sinto, Liberian Public Radio. I will continue with my music here. Give me a call if you want to be part of the conversation. We're here. Let's start. Let's listen to this here. This is a good music. Oh, yes. Zidoba. Sido, Sidova, Sido, Sidova. Samson told my boss, where you want my chauffeur?
The liberal progressive. What a beautiful evening. First and foremost, I want to say, even though we have talked today, I want to say this perfect manner again, Merry Christmas, and to the hard working staff.
Wait, Merry Christmas. You and Natalia, you're not fire me 5 times today, and you say Merry Christmas again.
Yeah. No, we always do that. We have to psychologically tend to do people mind to do the right thing. Look, on a serious note, I want to say a Merry Christmas. This is a very huge day. No matter and all that is going on to all our followers, viewers, listeners, contributors, far and near. I want to use this time. This is the main day, even though I was on last night. But today is Christmas, and I want to say a happy Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year to all Nigerians, good people all over the world. And I will pray we, triumphantly to roll into the new year and stuff like that. And just about something is developing out of Liberia, and the circulation has been out there. But I spoke with one of the executives of COP and also got the government version, and I'm quite sure you might be aware by now. And there was a meeting held today on the auspices of religious community. So it seems to me like the editorial yesterday released by the African Start newspaper, partner to the Liberia Public Radio, call and frown on the religious community of them being silent and not taking the bull by the horn. That's resonated. There was a high-profile meeting held today. The government of Nigeria and COP, like I said, under the auspices of the religious community, the legal man to the government, as you know, usually when it comes to these things, he's always at the head of the table. Councilor Musa Bain was heading the government negotiation team. And from what we are hearing right now, discussion is ongoing, but both sides are yet to come out official with our official communication. But little thing is coming out. The COP now is making some progressive demand. What the government, that's another part, requesting for some key positions within the government to drop charges against Representative Koluba, and the laundry list goes on. But usually when you see after meetings like this, and either side cannot release an official communique, that suggests the deal is yet to be seen. The discussion is ongoing, and it will be ongoing. So it is a good thing as long as one side is both sides are tight-lipped. They are not coming out with the senator positions. They are not being so quick to put out press release there. It means there are a few things they are still sorting out. So it's a clear indication that government's DOL initial position, including the president that was unwilling to have a negotiation, that we can now say is automatically off the table. Negotiation now is taking place because it would not be in the good interest of the government. Seeing what is coming out of this congressman who have been in Congress for 25 years and other Africans' desk, that's something that was a bell that really rang in the ears of the government for them to come to a negotiation. But we'll wait and see how it's going to end up. Quite tomorrow, there's 2-3 days, we will get to know the details, full details, and perhaps there will be a joint. So one will be coming from the government, one will be coming from the COP. What we want to be looking at is the contents of both communications. If they collaborate with each other, then we can now say there's some sort of deal as to whether there will be a protest or it will not be a protest and what's going to happen. But we can say I think it's good for the government to engage. If the government does not dialogue, it doesn't do you good because you will be more hurt and harmed than even though, because at the end of the day, when it goes wrong, you are in charge. You will be held accountable. So I think that's a different thing. So from now on, we hope. I think the idea of this malicious group going after her, of course, I have no doubt, because that was one of the questions I put out, that this man, he's being attacked by people. Nobody know the identity of these people, but it's being alleged that these are folks of Major Poggi or some pro-government supporters. So what becomes of that? And as I was told by folks close to that meeting today, that some of the high issues they are still sorting out. So I think Liberia will gradually come into a result, and hopefully the president, Dr. Weah, and his folks are now listening. And I also want to call on the Council of Patriots to also exercise maximum restraint, because when you are in this thing, when you are involved in this thing, you cannot be so arrogant to you have to conduct yourself that high sense of responsibility, because you don't want those people that are supporting you. I'm not talking about their follow-up, but the international community that are giving you the back. They don't want to also risk doing business with you to the extent that, oh, wait, this guy here, if he can't listen, if he doesn't have a sound of reasoning, then you reach a certain point where not listen to it. That's not what the international community like. So I hope they will conduct themselves and begin to do things differently, because they are not being invited. So there is no if and but about that. They are already in the throat of the government, and the government has realized there's a heavy-based support. So the only option is to sit at a table and have a peaceful negotiation. But we'll wait and see it in the coming week and days, something to see what comes out of that. Hopefully, when there's a consensus, then we can say the discussion hold. But for now, deliberations and discussions are ongoing.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. So. We appreciate it, and we'll be listening to your show tomorrow. I'm sure by the time your show ready to air, there will be more information. But thank you very much.
All right.
That's the voice of Mr. Alfonso So, and let's tune in tomorrow for his show, folks. I'm going to call this thing quit for the night. But before that, let me just play this one music, and then we'll call it quit. I want to thank all of you that continue to be a strong supporter of Liberian Public Radio. Thank you very much. Let me play this, and I'll wrap it up.
Say que yo no me le leo,
Okay, folks, Samson told LeBron Public. I want to thank all of you that have been following the show tonight. We've been out here for a very long time. It's a Christmas day, so we thought we'd just try to entertain ourselves here tonight. We have some wonderful, wonderful conversation. We really, really appreciate all of you that call in and appreciate our analysis here tonight. And like I said, we don't expect you to agree with our analysis. However, we ask you to give us the opportunity to express ourselves, thereby giving you the opportunity as well to disagree with us. One other important thing I want all of us to take out of this Christmas day is that we'll continue to pray for one another, and that we'll continue to pray for our country, because that's the only country you have. You can be citizen of the United States, but it cannot take the total out of you. No way, no way. You can go and live in a White House, they cannot take the total out of you. You know what I'm talking about. So we have to be careful. It's our country. It's our country. Christmas Day, while some of us having good time here, having good food, going visit family members and stuff, there's other brothers and sisters back home today that cannot even afford that. And all I can say, we can send all the money we want to send back home to brothers and sisters. But if things are not well, in terms of the structure itself that's supposed to govern our brothers and sisters, we're still not going to be able to do it. And we cannot continue to blame one another. What's the point? Let's find a solution. Let's find a solution, because I know it's possible. We can make it. We can make it. Think about yourself. I always use you as an example. When you came in this country, which one of you can tell me tonight that you came with $2,000-$3,000 in your pocket? Not many. Not many of us. But look at your bank account as we speak. Look at the place you live as we speak. Look at the car you drive as we speak. Where'd that come from? You didn't sell drugs. You work hard, because that is the culture. Liberian men go any part of the world. Once they give him the opportunity to educate themselves and work, they will be successful. No question asked. But then when it comes to the issue of our situation back home, we become impotent. We can't resolve stuff. Why is it? Is it because of hatred? Okay, if we're going to be hating each other that much, then let's split it up. Grand Jida, you become Grand Jida country. Lofa, you become Lofa country. Maryland country. And see how far we're going to go. But that idea is not going to work. We're always going to be together. We can't have Nima country. We can't have Kema country. It's always going to be county. Let's work together. That's all that I have to say here. This is Samson Toe, and I want to thank all of you and say good night to all of you. Let's do it again Friday. I'm going to try to go into the conversation, the interview with the president. Thank you very much. Good night, folks.